Welcome to another Figuring Out Japan video. We specialize in selling Japanese figurines and collectibles, but in this video I'm going to be looking at some vintage Lego pirates. So firstly, a couple of things. I'm not going to talk too much about the set names and the numbers and the number of pieces and all that sort of stuff. I will put all the detail in the description of this video, but it'll all be there. I'll also put in links to other reviews that I've done of the vintage Lego Pirates, because I've pretty much done all of the major sets. And I'll also put in there some analysis, some cost analysis, comparing the prices of these sets in today's terms, in today's dollars, and that's sort of a bit of an interesting thing as well. Now in this video I'm going to be looking at the 4 sets that you see in the foreground, and then I'll be doing the 2 sets at the back in separate videos. So let's get straight into it. So the set here, I'll get it in front. So this is known as, has a couple of different names, but perhaps best known as the SMUGGLER'S Shanty, is also known as the Pirate's Palm Hideout. And it's a pretty small set, obviously, but you get quite a lot of stuff in here. It's a little base with some nice palm trees, pretty cool looking base. Looks quite sort of tropical, and you do get a couple of minifigures, and I always liked this minifigure as a kid. I always thought it looked pretty cool with the vest and the belt, and even the face. You got to remember the vintage pirates were actually the first series that had more than the non-standard face, or the standard face in Legos. It was the first time that we had stubbles and hair and patches and that sort of stuff. We also got a shark, which was in the first wave of Lego Pirates as well, and also a red coat soldier, which also has some pretty cool printing. Probably looks a bit outdated now, but back then it was very cool. I think it still looks pretty good. And one actually interesting thing about this guy is that he's in a brown boat. And the reason why that's a bit strange is because the Imperial soldiers always had red boats, like this. And I do mean pretty much always. I haven't had a detailed look. I actually only realized this the other day. But I can't find, certainly in this wave, any other scenes where the Imperial soldiers are in brown boats. They were always in the red boats, although in this set, which is an Imperial Soldier set, you can see that there's a pirate in a red boat. So maybe if they thought, okay, this is a pirate set, in other words, not an Imperial Soldier set, we will include the pirate boat, even though a soldier is in it, because they did the opposite here, where you actually have a pirate in a soldier's boat because it is a soldier's set. So that's my theory as to why they did that. But I think this could be the only time you'll ever see a soldier in a sort of brown pirate's boat, if you like. Which is, I don't know, I thought that was worth pointing out. It'd be funny if they just made a mistake. So the second one we're going to look at here is the Renegade Runner. And one thing that I always thought about for many years was, why was the Caribbean Clipper a lot smaller than the Black Sea's Barracuda in the first wave of Pirates? And when I actually got that set and reviewed it last year, it just dawned on me that because these sets were so expensive, the Caribbean Clipper was a more affordable way to at least get a ship. But the problem with that, and I know I as a kid certainly didn't really want an Imperial Soldier ship. I wanted a pirate ship, and that's why it's great that they released this set, which actually allows you to get a pirate ship without breaking the bank. And I actually got this set for Christmas in, I think it was 1993, and I was actually having a look. I got out the catalogue again, and I noticed that my mum actually wrote down the prices. Obviously she was doing some research, and you can see the prices. Like, for example, the big ship here, the one that I wanted, $199. got to remember this was back in 1993. So I actually did a quick calculation before. At 2.5% inflation for 22 years, it's actually technically 2016 now, but let's say 2015. So in today's dollars, that's $343. So that is very, very expensive. The set released last year, the pirate ship released last year, was about $115. So big difference. It is 20 pieces, 200 pieces smaller, but still. So some of the features of the ship, as you can see, the mast does actually turn around, and there is a cannon here. Sorry, it's a bit dark. So there's actually a cannon here. It spins 360 degrees. You do get a treasure chest, some cannonballs. I never lost any of them as a kid. And there's nothing really under the deck, but you can sort of get a minifigure under there if you wanted to. The map, of course, which is in a lot of the sets. And probably my favorite feature of this set, you actually did get a compass. And it does actually work. If I sort of move this around a bit, you can see it will settle on the position. I don't know how accurate it is, but I can certainly tell you that it is pointing in the right direction, so you can see it's following. And as a kid playing with this set, that really added to the play value. I remember really just made it feel so much more authentic. And it baffles me why Lego don't really include it in their in their sets anymore. It's really quite surprising. Now, one thing I should point out actually is this guy was not included in the set. He's actually a paperclip that snapped many years ago. Like, I can't take his hat off either, it's all glued or whatever. So this set originally just had the 4 minifigures, but you do get the captain in his sort of more scruffier outfit. And the cannon does fire unless you get the US version. So we'll have a quick look at the figurehead of the ship, which looks like something out of the Castle series. So this may not have been a custom, the first time we saw that piece, I don't know. Now, one thing I actually said in the Skull's Eye Schooner review was we had these guns, and they can spin they can't spin 360 degrees, and I was surprised they didn't do that because you could in this one, and it's only like an extra piece. So I think I mentioned that in that video. Let's now have a look at may as well do these together. So these were the Islander series. So after the first 2 waves of pirates, I guess they wanted to keep the series going, but they had to sort of spice it up a bit. And so they released these sort of Islander series. I think I actually have a poster handy from that time, so you can see they kind of mixed them up a bit. Which I actually quite like that. I think it's a great idea. I think it definitely added value to the whole sort of pirate series. I mean, pirates don't just fight soldiers. They if you read history books, a lot of the stories are about how they interacted with native people. But this series, I don't think, is as popular as the pirates. You can get even the larger sets relatively cheap. But one thing I actually noticed or realized again even just the other day, this is actually, I believe, the largest boat structure in the Islander series. There are larger sets like the Enchanted Islands and things, but they only have small sort of boats. But this one actually, you get 2 canoes that connect into one. It's like a catamaran. And this is actually the largest boat structure in the Islander series. But it's pretty well put together. You can see there's a spear on the side. For a hook, you get the bull horns or whatever they are, and the zebra drum skin, and you get this guy, which he was actually in most of the sets. He wasn't particularly rare, and a pretty cool printed face as well, and a female warrior in the back. I don't actually think it came with the bow and arrow and the quiver in the back. I think I actually added that on from something else. And there is actually a oar here, which I just broke. It's not very smart, is it? But that just clips on there, and it moves to sort of power the boat. And you do get a crocodile in this set. I don't know if this was the first series that you could get the crocodile, but he's pretty cool. And then this is another set, and I think this guy's name is King Kahuna. I could be wrong on that, but I think that's his name. And yeah, again, just a very small set, but kind of cool looking, and you can actually flip the top, and there's a treasure chest in there. So, and when I actually reviewed the Enchanted Island set, which is this one here, I actually mentioned that in that video that I was disappointed there was no kind of throne room. You can see he's just sort of sitting up here, but there's no kind of big throne for him. There's a little sort of carry chair, but I was disappointed that there wasn't any kind of throne. And what I'll do now is just very quickly show you the boxes, because I do, so all these 4 sets I actually obtained them when they came out when I was a kid. So they always showed you the alternate builds. Always liked the artwork and things on these. You didn't get instructions for the alternate builds, but you could sort of figure them out from the pictures. I really like the background images and things. Now it's all sort of done on computer and looks very, you know, CG. All done on computer. And here's the Smuggler's Shanty. This box is a little bit damaged. So they always had some pretty interesting ideas actually, the alternate builds. And then the last box I'll show you before finishing up in this video is the Renegade Runner. Now with the mid-size or large sets, what you could actually do back then, I don't think LEGO does this anymore, you could actually lift the lid up. And I remember as a kid I loved going to the toy store and or the toy section and just looking inside the sets, because you could see all of the all of the minifigures and the pieces and stuff inside. So I think I've still got the paper tray, but I don't have the plastic pieces that it was in. But that was cool. Parents must have hated it because so the kids would see it and get all excited. But yeah, that's what the box for that one looks like. So yeah, so thank you very much for watching. As I said, I'll be reviewing the 2 sets at the back in the next video. So see you then. Thanks for watching.